Hi guys, Mark here from Friendship Shaving. I hope you're well. My shave unfortunately has gone completely wrong this week. The first thing that happened was that I used the soap and I reacted against it, perhaps in a way that you wouldn't expect. So I'll explain why and I'll do a little review of the soap. But also my razor broke. And I'll explain about that too. So this video is not going to be a shave video, but what I'll do is I'll put this out as an extra, and immediately after this video I'll put out a shave video. So the soap, first of all, was very kindly sent to me from Australia by Cris from Another Cut Above, and it is Lambert's Luscious Moisturising Shave Soap, and it's called Urbane and is proudly made in Aotearoa, which is the Maori name for New Zealand, the land of the long white cloud. Now it smells beautiful, this soap, and I will put a link up to Chris's review so you can see him use it. He builds a lather with it that's very good, does a lather review, and then he shaves with it. So I'll put a link up to both of Chris's videos. I was very pleased to get this. It smells beautiful. Now, Cris in his videos picked up the scent of patchouli and musk. But when I opened the soap and smelled it, it smelled of rose geranium. And I'm not someone that normally would like, excuse me, a flowery scent, but this has got a very, very nice scent indeed. It smells a little bit powdery, and I remember reading somewhere that soap makers sometimes add vanilla to get that powdery scent, and as soon as I remembered that, I could smell the vanilla. Now, when I was a baby, I was in hospital 1 month out of every 4 with asthma and bronchitis and those sort of lung-related issues. Back in the day, in order to help me, they used to give me penicillin, which I'm allergic to, and that would make me severely and violently sick, and that retching compressed the lungs, and that allowed me to remove mucus from my lungs and to be able to clear my lungs so the asthma medicine would work. Now I've long grown out of that, but my lungs remain a bit of a weak point for me, and sometimes with some soaps, particularly those that are made with fragrance oil rather than essential oils, I get irritation in my chest. It feels like this part of my chest is burned and raw, and I get a tightness and have great difficulty breathing. I can't fully inflate my lungs because I start coughing, and once I start coughing that brings on an asthma attack because I can't stop. So I was very surprised that I had that reaction with this soap, because if I look on the ingredients and read them out to you, it's made with essential oils. There are no fragrance oils in this, and part of their thing is that there are no genetically engineered products in this. It's all very natural. So there's coconut oil, sustainable palm oil, soybean protein, glycerine, sorbitol, aqua, sodium hydroxide, kaolin clay, and as I mentioned, the essential oils. I was very disappointed that I had that reaction, and I wondered if it might not be the fragrance of the soap, but rather something else in the soap. But I don't know what it is. I don't understand why I have this reaction occasionally, but there we go, I do. Now I'm going to open this up briefly And if I can catch the light, you will perhaps see there that it's very shiny. And that is the glycerin. There we go, that's the glycerin in the soap. Now, glycerin is a natural byproduct of soap making. Oh, it smells beautiful, but I'm trying not to smell it. Yes, it's a natural reaction between the sodium hydroxide, in this case, and the coconut oil and palm oil that's used in this soap. And when the chemical reaction between those two items take place, it produces the soap, some water and some glycerine. Now, most commercial soap makers remove that glycerine and either put it in another product entirely, or they sell it off to a company that makes skincare products. The glycerine is renowned for being good for your skin, being very moisturising for the skin, and they've known about this for a very, very long time. In fact, I've got a little note here. In 1800s, Alfred Nobel discovered that he could use glycerin as part of his experiment into making explosives, and of course he made nitroglycerin. But very good for the skin, very moisturising, as is the sorbitol. Now, the sorbitol is a sugar alcohol, and it's more typically used in I'm going to say the word artisan soaps, perhaps the type you might find in craft shops, those clear gel-like soaps. And I'm no soap maker at all, I've just looked this up to try and understand it as best I can. But apparently it helps with making the soap clear. This is a very, very hard soap. If I push my finger on it, I just cannot make a dent in that. And that is because of the sodium hydroxide that it's made with. Its common name is lye. Another product that's often used is potassium hydroxide, which is commonly known as potash. The sodium hydroxide is typically used to make a hard, opaque bar soap, something like this. Whereas the potassium hydroxide is often used to make a soft or liquid soap, and I believe that most shaving soaps these days are made with a mixture of the two, the sodium and the potassium hydroxide. This one only has sodium hydroxide in it, so it's a very hard soap, but it does lather up very, very well indeed. The lather is incredibly dense. There are no air bubbles in it at all, and when if you look at Chris's video, you'll see that. It's a very nice lather. It feels incredibly light on the skin. There's an odd feeling about it compared to a normal lather, but it's still very nice. It's a thirsty soap, and I got enough on my brush to last for about five passes. Now, normally when I do a video, if I'm using a new product, I tend to use that on a Tuesday night before I make my video on a Wednesday, and that's how I discovered that I had this reaction to the soap. So I'm not going to use that soap this week, but I hope you'll take the time to have a quick look at Chris's lather review. It's only about 10 minutes long, very interesting, and you'll see the soap. Now, what I'll do is, if you'd like to try this, I'll just hang on to it for a little while, and I'll give it away at some point with a couple of other things. Yeah, it's got kaolin clay in it. I forgot to say I like soaps with kaolin clay in it. It's just to add a little bit of cushion and some slick on your skin. I think it's a nice soap, but it just didn't suit me, unfortunately. Now the next thing to go wrong was my razor. I was going to use my Schick razor. Thankfully it didn't cost me much money, and if you look you can see that it has split all the way across there, and in fact you can see that this bit just wobbles around now. There's no stability to it, so I can't get a blade in there. I thought to look online. I thought I'd try and pick one up, new old stock. There are some on there for a reasonable price, but I've noticed that on all the Schicks, even the new ones, there is a slight cut just from there to there in the metal, and that is so that when you put the key into the razor, it allows a bit of flexibility in the metal. But stupid is, as stupid does, decided to clean his razor, and I put the key in and twisted the key like that to try and clean that bit properly, and unfortunately it was that action which snapped the razor. So should you get one, or should you have one, please don't do what I did, because that is now just ready for the bin, and I'm really rather annoyed about it, because it is a beautiful razor to shave with, and I will definitely be looking out for another one. So that, gents, is my video for the time being. I am having great problems with the broadband this week. I've been on the phone to my provider, so I'll put this out as soon as I can. Hopefully it'll be tonight. I'll put it out tonight, and then I'll have a shave now and do a normal video. So I'll see you very shortly. Take care of yourselves. Ta-da.